What's up, everybody, and welcome to This Week on GameSkinny with me, Roth, and I am joined this week by Robert. Say hello.
Hello.
Yes, indeed. All right, so I guess we'll jump right into it. So this week we had an article about PsychoSid, who dropped out of Berkeley to continue his League of Legends esports career. So his grades were or he was getting terrible grades and decided to just drop the whole college thing altogether to pursue his esports career. And
so he was going to college at Berkeley and ended up dropping out of Berkeley to join esports, basically, because he started playing Dota.
He was already on Vulcan, the esports team, and he was doing both at the same time, which is incredible to think that he was, trying to get through college while being on an esports team, because it's, no laughing matter. It's like it's a full-time, more than 40 hours a week job. I wouldn't be surprised if, it's more like 100 hours a week kind of thing.
So this is an interview then, right?
Yeah, John Gaudiosi, he's one of our contributors that has a lot of connections in the esports world. He was asking him all about the whole experience of, how that went for him, and his parents were not very happy about his decision to drop out of college. But now they're finally on board because they see how much of an opportunity is for him, and they watch all of his games now, which I think is pretty awesome.
Well,
and
if you kind of look at how pro sports are looked at through parents nowadays, it's kind of like it's the same thing, but not really, because it's kind of new,
Right. Well, yeah, we were talking about it earlier, how all of our parents grew up with sports like football, soccer, and baseball, and so obviously when their kids go off and have a chance to be a pro in whatever sport, they're going to be on board without even a second thought about it. But when you think about video games, our parents, they're like, nah, I don't know about all that. But so now we're in a day and age where it's begun to be a huge deal, and it's not going to stop. It's only, and he mentions it, PsychoSid mentions it, esports is spreading like wildfire, and he's right, and it's not going to stop for a long time. It will be completely mainstream up to the point of NFL within the foreseeable future.
Well, if you kind of look at the Asian community, I guess, with StarCraft, they've been doing that for a long time now. And
yeah. I mean, God, it must be 20 years by now that they've been...
Yeah, and then with Firefall coming up with their promotion of esports, they're trying to, push that esport along with it. So
yeah, that's another thing that PsychoSid mentioned in his interview, was that all the other companies now have started to jump on board with how Riot Games has gone about promoting League of Legends. And it wasn't purely League of Legends, the game, that led to the esports popularity. It was Riot Games being behind it and putting all these resources into it, and now all these other companies are jumping on board because it's become such a huge deal. And I'm very excited to see where this goes.
It's kind of funny what we were talking about earlier. He says, we already see that Korea and the Chinese regions, the cultures take esports as seriously as we take the NFL.
Yep.
Truth. Very true.
And it will be that way. I mean, maybe not quite so much NFL status, but it will be up there. It'll be as popular as hockey. I know that.
I hope it does. Because I love esports. I've been watching more and more esports here and there. I mean, it's hard for me to get on every now and then, but
yeah. So I guess we'll jump on to the next article. So Mario Kart saved some lives this past, I guess it was a week and some change ago, something like that. So a 74-year-old grandmother was driving down the road with her two grandsons, and I do believe, yes, he was 10 years old, the kid in the passenger seat. So the grandma passes out inexplicably, and they're going down a highway at like 60 some miles an hour, and the 10-year-old stepped up, grabbed the wheel, and drove the car off out of incoming traffic and drove them safely into a kind of like a muddy patch, and just did this instinctually. And he claims that he got that from Mario Kart. His ability to be faced with this
adverse situation.
Horrible situation, and took control and made the right move and saved his life, his grandmother's life, and his little brother's life.
It's crazy because, like, we were talking earlier a little bit about this, and when I was younger, racing games taught me how to drive, basically.
Yep.
I learned how to drive from video games. And when I did my driver's test and all that, it was cake.
Yeah. Yep. Easy peasy. Yeah, and just being in so many high-stress situations from video games, because you can play video games and not take it that seriously, but when you play video games to the level that I assume both of us do.
Oh yeah.
Like, being in arena in World of Warcraft for 6 years straight.
Hands are shaking.
Stress.
Hands are shaking. You're like, oh
Yeah.
dear Lord.
Yeah, it is intense, and it builds you some nerves. It gives you some reaction time. It gives you decision making, and I think this is the future of video games. They're going to start using video games for training of everything. The military's jumping on it.
Yeah.
Medical's jumping on it.
They've already started doing that. I know when I was in the military, they started using video games. It was more like Nintendo 64 style graphics-wise, but they used it for IED training in the military.
Oh, right. To
and they put you,
disarm.
they put you in like a Humvee, and they have like, I don't know, 6 or 7 screens around you, and it's just like a virtual desert that you're driving along, and an IED goes off, and you're like, what do I do? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's a virtual world that can put you in the situation that you might be faced with, so you can, after you do it a bajillion times, you just kind of gain this comfortable position with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're faced with it in the real world, you'll be able to handle it. You'll know what to do with it.
It's funny. Katie wrote this article, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Katie that wrote the article.
She says the fact that there were no blue shells helped. I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Thank
the
God.
conversations across the internet that have sprung up because of this article have been quite entertaining. Reddit, N4G here, all
the
of
banana peel picture that you showed me.
Oh yeah, the banana peel. Yeah, there's a meme of a picture of a car, and then underneath it says Mario Kart, or I saw a banana in the road, and Mario Kart trained me to avoid it, or
I swerved instinctively or something like that.
Yeah, I swerved instinctively because of Mario Kart. Thank you, Mario Kart.
Great.
All right, so I guess next up we've got Mudto MMO brought us another video talking about the kick mechanic for groups in MMOs.
I definitely want to get some good input on this, because
go for it.
That kick mechanic is just god awful right now. It's so abused, and he is so right when he goes into this video. Just talks about everything that's wrong with it, and there's that much wrong with it, and they need to do a lot of mechanic fixing, and
right.
I don't see it happening in any of the older MMOs. But maybe down the line, somebody will see this video and be like, hey, this guy's got a great idea.
Right. Yeah, and the idea he was pitching, I guess one of the ideas he pitched was instead of giving Deserter, which is like the 10-15 minute debuff, you give, if you just quit out of whatever group, PvP or instance, dungeon, whatever it might be, you get a token. If you hit 3 tokens in one day or 1 week, then you get a 24-hour ban from group content. And he says this because if you haven't already noticed that the 10-minute Deserter debuff, people will rage quit out, and they're like, okay, cool, I've got 10 minutes to go monkey with my gear, go to the auction house and do that, or go craft something real quick. So it's not really a punishment, it's just kind of like...
It's more of an annoyance.
Right.
Yeah.
So
He also talks about adding a real punishment to the situation, which he didn't really get into too much.
mm,
But I think adding some kind of maybe 1 day ban for leaving 6 times in a week or something is reasonable to me.
yeah,
But
to try and tailor, like make the companies tailor
yeah,
the desired behavior and punish the undesired behavior.
yeah. Well, that's another thing he talked about was giving rewards for people who complete instances or complete PvP, which they kind of do right now with
Yeah,
PvP. At the end of PvP, you automatically get like whatever you get for that specific currency.
right, right,
So like if you leave in the middle of it, you're not going to get anything.
right. Yeah, but
But
that, people don't care. It's a video game. You know what I
right,
mean? Like, I
yeah.
guess I kind of put that incorrectly, but sort of kind of like that. But I think the problem initially has happened because companies realized that this certain thing kept happening, so they put in the quickest, easiest fix that they could possibly put for it.
That's exactly what it was.
And instead of kind of thinking in depth into how to tailor the way people act with these things.
See now, Terra, they actually did do a thing where you are rewarded for finishing an instance, but they've never had like a mechanic that's more of a punishment. So I mean, they've got one side covered, but they
Right.
need to work on the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see that start to get more tailored for the upcoming MMOs, the big pile of tons of
Yeah, I
awesome
know,
MMOs
right?
that are coming out.
Millions of MMOs.
Yeah. Speaking of games coming out, so there's a Kickstarter that just started called Project Snowstorm. It is going to be a mobile RPG, and they are initially asking for $500,000,
That
and their
is a
stretch goal
lot
is
of money.
$3 million for a
Holy
mobile
crap!
game. So I understand why they need that kind of hefty money, because they have some very high profile people on the list of development. Particularly the guy who's doing the soundtrack did the trailers for Iron Man, Lord of the Rings, and Pirates of the Caribbean, which, that's not a low profile gig.
Not at all.
But it looks like they're trying to go for a probably not nearly as in depth, but along the lines of depth to Elder Scrolls, just Elder Scrolls games.
Visually, that's kind of what it looks like when you look
Right,
at just
yeah.
the screenshot. It looks like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not really sure how the actual gameplay is going to come down. I have a feeling it's going to be kind of sort of point and click adventure kind of thing, but it might actually have dynamic movement and dynamic spells and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they go into one thing that I want to mention is they say our phones ready, and
Right.
that's a huge question, because has technology advanced enough to see those kind of graphics?
Well, I think they might be trying to utilize the cloud computing idea, where your device isn't really doing the majority of the rendering and all that work. It's kind of more streamed to your phone. I think that's what they're trying to go for. I
Oh,
can't
really?
quoted on that. But that's kind of, I guess, off topic, but on topic. The cloud computing is going to be that solution for hardware, where it'll get to a point where the actual piece of equipment that we hold in our hand or sits in front of us isn't doing the majority of the work. It's more servers off somewhere else that Google runs or whatever is going to be doing the.
Well, that's
the
kind
rendering.
of how they do MMOs right now, except for you actually have to install the game. I mean, the
Right.
server is on their servers. If you log into the game, it's going to be on their servers.
Right. Well, right now it's for like World of Warcraft, everything you see on your screen is being done by your computer, but you're communicating with the server. And,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see where this goes. I hope they have tremendous success, because I think mobile needs some more in-depth gameplay. Oh my God,
I
I'm getting
agree.
a phone call. So yeah, well, hopefully that will go well for them.
Well, our other topic. Moving right along.
Yes. So levels and titles have been added to the the website. So now
Hooray!
you can play GameSkinny like it's a video game. Um,
You can level
Basically,
up.
yes, and you get various titles as we go up, and we are working on adding many more badges and titles and achievements and things along those lines
This is
to make
kind
it
of cool
fun.
because if you look at like old, sorry to cut you off there, but if you look at old like forums and stuff, you see the people that have been there first, and that's what
Right.
this kind of feels like. Is
Hmm.
you're gonna see the veterans of this website.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it for the most part. You know, people I think people will see the level that you are or your title and kind of hold a little bit more respect for you
Right.
just from that, which I think is really good for building community and things along those lines. Um, Another plug for us here at GameSkinny or Guild Launch, whichever one you prefer to recognize us by. So we've got the Dragon Slayer Awards going, and you can come here and vote for what you think is the most passionate fan base, the top community management team, the top community manager, notable gaming personality, best gaming innovation, notable gaming comic, notable machinima video series, notable Kickstarter, and best gaming team, guild, or clan. Um, so the votes are going well, and just a little teaser: the Lord of the Rings Online group have shown up in the masses and have
Yeah,
kind of
that's
skewed the vote.
pretty
But
crazy. That's pretty crazy. I've never played Lord of the Rings Online, and they have such a passionate fan base.
yeah, it's we were talking about this earlier. How I think for World of Warcraft, you could say maybe 10% or less of the actual fan base are
Yeah.
passionate. Well, they'll come out and do stuff like this. Lord of the Rings, it's like 95%
Which
passionate.
that's
They
insane.
Yeah, they're obsessed with their game. They love it. So um,
I mean, it is a cool
hopefully,
game. It really
yeah,
is. So,
hopefully some other gaming communities will get offended and come out in the masses as well, and we'll see some fights go out over that.
oh God, League of Legends. There's gonna be
Yeah,
some kids
all
killing
we need
people.
is Riot to say something about it on some live
I
stream
know, right?
of the um,
Oh dear Lord, what have
esports
we
games.
started?
We've started a war. Um, so next, a few more plugs. I've got my Elder Scrolls Online All Stars podcast coming up on August 9th. That is this upcoming Friday, and today is Saturday.
ESO. We should.
Yes.
Everybody should play it.
Well, they can't yet.
Well, obviously, but
So I think we might be changing our lineup of attendees. I think Josh might be dropping out and to make room for Force. That is not set in stone yet, but we are working on it. We might have a dev on as a guest. That is
huh?
not set in stone, but we're working on it. And yeah, come hang out. And I guess another plug once again.
Oh, more
The
plugs.
Game Skinny Round
Cod
Table.
past.
Codcast, yes. The
Yes,
podcast.
the podcast.
Plug away, sir.
Yeah. Well, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. we are doing another podcast. Going to be talking about lots of good news. Obviously, more Game Skinny news because that's what we do. Um, make sure you can watch it on Twitch/Game GS Roundtable, and check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
The Twitter.
The Twitter.
And you guys try to post it by Friday on the site, right?
Yes, we are definitely getting more organized and trying to get everything situated.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of getting organized, you're also starting to do Let's Plays, right?
Oh man, we got to do that still.
Yeah.
God,
Gosh.
I have
Yeah.
so much to do.
That was a ton of fun, the first one we did with Scarlet's Blade.
Yeah,
That was
see,
quite entertaining.
I was so nervous about doing that too. Getting off topic. Getting off topic. Yes, the Let's Play. I'm going to try to do it on Saturdays, every Saturday. Right now, obviously, that's not going to happen.
Yes, it's already almost over.
Yes, because I had a busy day today. But we'll get everything organized for the Let's Play, and we're going to have it on Saturdays at probably about 7. Yeah, 7 p.m.
Sweet.
Eastern time. Everything's Eastern time.
Yes. All right. Well, I guess that concludes this week on GameSkinny. Yes.
Thanks for
I'll see
watching.
you guys later.
Bye-bye.